In this segment, Stephanie Miller and her guests discuss the consequences of Kimmel's being pulled from the air when it comes to the future of free speech.
We are following breaking news. Disney announcing Jimmy Kimmel Live will return tomorrow. The production was suspended last Wednesday over the host's comments about the shooting death of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Disney is the parent company of ABC, but again, Jimmy Kimmel Live will return tomorrow.
This is is this the second week in a row I'm going to agree with Rand Paul on something?
Absolutely inappropriate. Brendan Carr's got no business weighing in on this. But people have to also realize that despicable comments, you have the right to say them, but you don't have the right to employment. Virtually everybody employed, probably including yourself, has a code of conduct in your contract that you have to adhere to. NFL players have it. Major League Baseball players have it. And if you don't adhere to that conduct, if you say things that are reprehensible or that glorify someone's death or make fun of it in some way, yeah, you can be fired.
You don't agree with
I knew there wouldn't be that much I'd agree with him. Yes, the FCC chair was completely out of line. However,
Kitty.
Oh, look at Hal grabbing his pussy. Oh, that's so sweet.
Right. Well, I figured, I'm trying to fit in. I figure if I get like, hey, you can't fire me. I grab him by the. This is
there you go.
This is Bucky, our black cat. He's brand new. He was just walking around my feet, trying to trigger a cascading electronic meltdown.
As cats do. As cats do.
As cats do.
Yeah.
Yes, right. So he's just being precious.
What Jimmy Kimmel said was not despicable, nor was it celebrating Charlie Kirk's death in any way. Oh my God!
No,
it's just...
and part of it was, and again, there are two primary things. One of the funny things is that it's considered offensive to quote things that Charlie Kirk said that were distinctly against this kind of image of him as a softening Christian influence on young men. And that seems to be what they're up against. They wanted to eulogize him in a way that is politically advantageous for the president, not take him as a full man. And I think there's nothing more offensive to someone's legacy than pretending they were only half a person when they died.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they were doing with Charlie.
Yeah. So Ted Cruz, as usual, is a despicable weasel. But was trying to,
But he's got to.
I think he feels the blowback about Jimmy Kimmel and wants to sort of get on the right side of this politically. So here's Ted Cruz.
And I got to say, that's right out of Goodfellas. That's right out of a mafioso coming into a bar going, "Nice bar you have here. It'd be a shame if something happened to it." So again, I like Brendan Carr, but we should not be in this business. We should denounce it. It's fine to say what Jimmy Kimmel said was deplorable, it was disgraceful, and he should be off air, but we shouldn't be threatening government power to force him off air. That's a real mistake.
You know what was a real mistake? Whoever told Ted Cruz that he can do impressions and that he is funny. That person.
And that Italian businessmen sound like Germans from 1945 for half the time, I guess, for the first sentence out of their mouth, I guess, whatever that was. Also, by the way, Texas can don't mess with Texas, macho Texas, Joe Rogan crowd. Explain to me how you have such a weaselly, weenie-voiced, nasally weakling run as your senator. How does he represent the state? I don't get it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's amazing.
All right, here is
but he is correct in that regard. And why does he care, though? Let's not pretend that he's trying to be on the right side of history.
Right.
Let's recognize that he's seen the polling, that he has seen the way things are going next year. And this doesn't help. That this, they ran on free speech absolutism just like they ran on releasing the Epstein files. And they're not living up to either, and they're actively fighting against it. You're an idiot, and he doesn't want your support if you still want the Epstein files. And in this case, the president should be able to shut down a show that offends him. Well, what happens when that power gets into the hands of a Democrat?
Right.
That's, by the way, nothing, because a Democrat wouldn't do that. But it terrifies the right.
Right.
As it should.
This is Senator Mark Wayne Mullen, who, I don't know, just his name annoys us, even before he starts speaking.
Mark Wayne.
No, it's not two separate words. It's Mark Wayne.
Mark Wayne.
Okay.
Yes.
When 97% of the news stories are negative about him and 99% about Pete Hegseth is negative, it is cheating because you're putting out a narrative that isn't true. There's a thin line between free speech and when it crosses a line and causes violence. And when you start calling someone fascist, which is what we've seen prescribed on the bullets, there is a problem at some point, and some people have to be held accountable.
No, they really.
Somebody
no, they
put
really,
together
really don't.
a compilation of how many times he called Kamala Harris a fascist, but that's not important now.
Yeah. But that's exactly right. Like, and again, of course, like these are the guys who think there should be a copy of Mein Kampf on every bookshelf in every elementary school because free speech for Germans, I guess, in several different languages. But in reality, like they at the same time, they're like, you're on the hook. Anything on the left is on the hook for anything that happens related to it. Anything on the right is just, well, obviously people are going to get upset at what you're doing. It's not what we told them to do. It's not the marching orders, not walk down there peacefully and patriotically. But if Pence doesn't have the courage, you're going to have to fight like hell or you won't have a country anymore, which is the equivalent of don't fire till you see the whites of their eyes. It isn't that. It's that, well, these people are upset. Look at them.
Yeah.
Of course, their country is being torn away.
By the way, thank you for your post. Kash Patel is pathetic. We got him. He turned himself in for F's sake. He's just like Barney Fife meets. It's like you didn't.
Oh my God!
You didn't catch. His father turned him in.
Yeah, right. And his pastor, his youth, you'd think they'd even throw some credit to the fact that they talked to their youth pastor, the youth pastor talked to the kid, and that came in. And meanwhile, Kash Patel's like, I went down there and walked the crime scene, like he's in a very special episode of CSI Utah. And what did he do? Go up on the roof and lick some rocks and go, I think he's about 6'3". Well, he's brunette. I taste. Does this taste like brunette to you? Like, the case was already closed at that point. What are you talking about? And secondly, the fact that he did it doesn't bother. I mean, it's a waste of time and taxpayer dollars. But you know who had freaked out? MAGA. They think he's there planting evidence, covering for Netanyahu or whoever arranged for it, or covering for the internal Groyper attack.
Tucker
and blah, blah,
Carlson
blah.
implied Israel did it yesterday.
Yeah.
That's a memorial.
In all fairness, he implies Israel does everything.
Right.
So,
right.
yeah.
So Toby,
especially stuff Russia does.
Toby posted, and I've been making this point, how Republicans, we must put Bibles in classrooms and take children to church because their values and morals are established when they're young by their environment. Also Republicans, Tyler Robinson was raised in a conservative, gun-loving, law enforcement, religious home, but that has nothing to do with him turning out to be a radicalized monster. I mean,
right.
By the way, this is exactly Jimmy Kimmel's point. They're trying to spin him as anything other than one of them when he was one of them as the governor.
Yes, he was raised and crafted in that mentality, right?
Yeah, the Republican governor said. Yeah, exactly. So,
well, that's the problem with cult. That's the problem with cult-like mentalities. Is it doesn't matter. One day you can just be pointed another direction. You can be flipped, and that's why revolutionaries always get shut down by the very leaders that are put in place by them. Is because all they got to do is spin on a dime, and they're just as fervent in the other direction.